shed. Done the little rounds of the garden, a couple of things. My older bug house over the winter has literally just fallen apart, and I've been trying to sort of just strap it together, and then I've come out today and the whole thing's on the floor. I mean, thankfully some of them have already hatched, and there was one in there waiting to come out, so I've strapped it up some more, just last until they've hatched, the ones that are in there. And I've also noticed that my rhubarb is flowering, which is a no-no. So we're going to go out and sort that out. Well, literally just cut the flower off. As much as it's pretty, we don't really want our rhubarb flowering. I don't think I will harvest it. I just think they're a beautiful plant, and a garden's not a garden without a rhubarb. Let's go and cut this flower off and get all the energy into producing fruit and leaves. So, see you outside. There's the flower. Hello, flower. Here it is. But we don't want that. So I don't think I'm going to nip that off. I'm just going to nip it off. Just nip it off. Just there. There's the flower. We don't want that. But yeah, this is its second year. I think it's called Victoria. It's the very old-fashioned one. Can you see that? Victoria. Yeah, we put it in last year. I didn't harvest anything from it last year. Oh, hello, puss. I didn't even know rhubarb flowered. But I heard some people online saying about it flowering, and lo and behold. Oh, it smells. Oh, it smells rhubarby. Lovely. I'll show you the dilapidated bug house that we're trying to save, which will probably not last another season. I have got another one. But yeah, it smells divine. I'll leave that on there for the minute. It can rot back into the ground. There you go. I've had to put wires up and everything to try and hold it together because it's falling to pieces. But I've had things hatching out of it, so I had to pick up all the bits of bamboo and rearrange them back in there. Hopefully, but you can see some of them are already hatched out, which is good. But we do have some that haven't quite hatched out yet. One up there, I don't know if you can see that. But as I say, I've shown you before, I have got another one here, which I got last year, I think that was. But I might try and make my own, he says. My lovely array of forget-me-nots. Beautiful. Actually showing up white on the camera. They're actually blue. Look at those. Coming up dandy. All in there, all coming up dandy. So I did do a bit of potting up of different seedlings using the cold frame out here on the decking. Some Alison, some larkspur, some lupins, strawberries, stock. A sunny day. Lovely jubbly. Oh, back in me crafty room. Well, not craft room, dining room / craft room. Right, so I thought I would show you. I've blocked it out ready for steaming. The little hooded cardigan. I need to buy some buttons, 5 buttons, probably like a wood effect button. But yeah, I'm doing that ready to steam. The pattern has come out quite wide, and I did see one of the reviews where someone else said that it comes up quite wide, but I'm sure that'll be fine because it's like a little jacket. I'm And I did finally get round to making the armature for my needle felted horse that I'm going to start. As I said to you, said before, the knitting bug has well and truly bitten me now, and I'm knitting myself a sheep jumper because I have a thing about sheep. I love sheep. Sheep, sheep, sheep. Talking about sheep, this is what I'm going to be wrapping round my armature, ready for needle felting. Craft wise, that's all. Look, it's got the fiber's got like that. Got bits of debris. I need to go and get my felting mat. Hang on a moment. Found it. I don't know why the lid isn't going on. For some reason, these needles I've got in here, have I put them in wrong? Just seem too long. There's something not quite right there. I can't. Yeah, but that has to go over there. And then does that then go on there? Why do they stick out the end? That doesn't make sense. But anyway. But all my wool came in separate little the little seedy bags. I thought, oh, they'll come in handy. I'm one of these people that'll come in handy, and it never does. And it just ends up being put in the buckaroo cupboard, as we call it. The buckaroo cupboard is, you know, you want something that's at the bottom, and can you get it out without not coming down? Thankfully, since we've moved to this property, there isn't a cupboard big enough to be a buckaroo cupboard. That is the only thing, the only downside of this, or maybe upside of this bungalow, is there are no storage cupboards, but you find ways around it. And so you don't end up with a big took cupboard where everything's going to consume you when it falls avalanches on top of you. And I'm the world's worst when it comes to out of sight, out of mind. Terrible. Getting better, but terrible. Right, I'm going to move you off the table. Doing a little bit of needle felting. I just find when I start doing it, the body always comes out a lot longer than I wanted. I did think of trying to do like a schedule where you sort of, it's scheduled, like tells you like during the week what you know going to do, needle felting or knitting, or you know. And I have done it before, and I wrote it all out, and I had it like a timetable, like you do at school, you know, when you first start school, and it's your first thing is you do your timetable. Do you know what? I could not. The restraints of it to discipline me into this is what you're doing today at this certain time, or like even just like you're in the morning, this is what you're doing, in the afternoon, this is what you're doing. Do you know what? It made me really miserable. I couldn't stick with it. Just, I have to kind of just wing it, and as the mood grabs, I go with it. Because what was happening was, I may not have been in the mood to do what the timetable was saying. I think I've had years and years of not being constrained, you know, disciplined into doing particular things at a particular time. And it didn't work, so I screwed it up and threw it in the bin. I just do as the mood takes me, really. The jumper that I'm knitting is like, you know, with the yoke. So you're knitting in the round, and then the sheep are on the yoke. So hopefully that will turn out nice. It's quite a thick jumper. But even like in the summer, you can take it as a, when the evenings get a bit chilly, you can just chuck it on. Normally I chuck a cardigan on, but you can always chuck a jumper on, can't you? Even now the call to my knitting is calling me. It's like, no. Do a bit of needle felting for a little while. To be different, just for a change. Do you ever put all three in? I find that it just creates more resistance if you have all three in there. I prefer to just work with two and then one for fine details. Or is that just me? I just find that three is... And then I've got one that will take 5, I think, even more resistance. So you can't really get deep into the fibres, it kind of just goes on the surface, so then you end up with quite a squidgy middle. I don't like a squidgy middle, I like it to go right through and to firm up quite a bit. I must admit, I was using synthetic fibres. Yeah, I was using synthetic fibres, which take forever to, like the stuffing polyfill thing, because you can't wrap it, and it does felt quite solid, but it takes a lot longer. So I've gone back to wool, which needle felts up a lot quicker. Because if you remember, this one, he's done with synthetics all the way through, is synthetic base and synthetic wool. So it's not, it is doable with synthetics if you just want to be on the synthetic side of things. So it's not too bad. I want to get a shelf up to put them all on. I must admit that once you get started with stabbing, it is very, very relaxing. Very relaxing. In the evenings with my knitting, as I sit in the living room and do my knitting, I put rain noise on and I just go off onto a different planet. It's like full on meditation mode. If you needle felt, have you ever had your needle felting attacked by, or even if you store wool, like your yarn is wool, not synthetics, has your stuff ever been attacked by bugs? I haven't, because most of the time I normally do synthetic, but I was just wondering with this, because I store it in here, but what if I've done this in wool and then I've got it up on a shelf? Will it get attacked by bugs? Just wondering. If you needle felt, do you needle felt quite firm? I do like it quite, so it maybe jumps a blackbird. You made me jump, Mrs. Blackbird. Right, going to wrap it up for this one. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that juicy stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. So till then, take care. Bye.